Chet, good to have you back on here, sir. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me back.
Yeah. I recently saw that you went on a tour with Tex Crick. How was that?
That was great. That was a real good experience for me. Um, I love Texas music, so getting to play all around the world really was a privilege.
Yeah, where did you go?
We started in Europe and went throughout Europe, and then we went over to Canada and played like the east coast of Canada.
It's
Yeah,
a good amount.
yeah, it was great.
Wow. Well, what is on your mind when you're traveling while on tour? What are you thinking about in those times of traveling on the plane or bus or whatever it may be?
Well, for this tour, I mean, I had never been to really any of these places. So for me, I was just looking out the window, looking at everything because everything was new to me. So I was just taking it all in, the sights and yeah, different, very different to Australia.
The sights and the sounds and what have you.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, do you think that you're in a unique position to see these parts of the world while on tour? Do you think that that kind of opens up like a different perspective that most people may not have when traveling to these places?
I guess because it's kind of like it's not so much a holiday, but it's like a working kind of holiday, and you're like taking yeah, just you're observing people observing, but then you're also kind of like a circuit, bit of a circus act, just traveling from town to town. So you don't really get too long in the one place. But yeah,
You like to bounce around. I know, Chet. I know you've been on here before. I got a good read on you. Are you focusing on the next show as soon as the previous one is wrapped up? Are you kind of like, all right, on to the next, or do you kind of take some time to be like, all right, let me explore some other things outside of music here for a moment
on that tour specifically, or just with
on all tours, we'll
oh
say.
yeah, I feel like I'm kind of just living in the moment, I suppose. Like just whatever's happening right now, I'm in that trying to be in that moment present, and I don't really think of the next thing until I'm really there, I guess.
I think it's a good way of doing it. I mean, you only live in the now, not in
Yeah,
the past or the future.
yeah.
I got to write that down, Chad. I forget that from time to time. How do you feel about traveling to in order to perform? Do you enjoy that aspect?
I do, yeah. I like I just like going places. So if it's better if I get to go there to play music as well because it's the best of both worlds. I don't
Both
like I'm
both
not
of
the
them.
biggest fan of jet lag though, playing while jet lag, but
Yeah. I can only imagine how difficult that would be. But you make it work, Chet. You're a professional. We all know this.
yeah, I'm sure there's all the traveling musicians make it work, I guess.
They do, and I don't know how they do it, but they do it.
Show must go
Um,
on.
the show must go on. Yeah, that's what we as an audience forget. We go, oh man, I got to be dead tired. Not you guys. Mm-mm. Just can't let that happen. Where would you want to perform if you had the opportunity to perform anywhere that you haven't already?
Um, I've never played at the Sydney Opera House, but to me that's pretty iconic. So I'd love to be able to play there one day.
It's pretty iconic.
Yeah.
I would say top five most iconic venues. Maybe well, iconic buildings at this point. Just I taking music out of it for a minute.
Yeah, definitely. It's the architecture is great, but it also just sounds so great inside as well. I've seen lots of people play there, but yeah, I'd love to play there one day.
What's a memorable concert that you saw there?
Recently I saw Conan Moccasin play there. That was great. Tex was and Miles were in his band. I saw Paul Weller play there from the Jam and the Style Council. That was pretty cool.
Awesome. And shout out to Miles too. He's just a fantastic musician. And please go back
He's
and
been
listen
on
to
the
his
pod.
episode. He's been on.
He's been on the pod. Okay, cool.
He's been on. He's just a great guy and really just fantastic. Who Tex brings on the road is a real who's who of musicians, and I really like it, man. So Sydney Opera House, anywhere outside of Australia that you'd be like, oh, that'd just be interesting to see that country maybe.
um, Probably some of just the iconic venues in the States. I've never played in the States. I don't
Like
I
the
don't even
YouTube
know.
forum. Yeah, yeah. Is the I mean was playing internationally, getting out of Australia and performing music always a goal of yours when you started playing music, or was it something that just came into your life and you just enjoy it now and that really wasn't on the mind?
Yeah, I don't think it was really ever like a goal. I've always wanted to play music, like love traveling to play music places in Australia. But yeah, when the opportunity came around, it was like I was thrilled. But I don't think I really thought too much about
I initially heard you said no, I don't want to do it. You can't make me. That's
it.
um do you take time to step away from music when a tour like that, or any tour for that matter, is like wrapped up? Do you go, all right, I'm gonna step away from this for a time, or do you just kind of get back into the swing of things more locally? Like, all right, yeah, I'll play that show and do this and do that and whatever it is.
This time I took like a bit of a little break and just went camping, kind of to just relax a bit from the hustle and bustle. But I liked, yeah, like to play music, so I'm pretty keen to get back playing again.
Yeah, I never
Yeah,
thought that you were a real big enjoyer of playing music, and I never really got that from you.
yeah, I can't stand it. Yeah,
And then you get into the stress of camping, which is which is its own job.
yeah.
You were opening up for Mac DeMarco on these gigs, right?
Yes, yeah. In playing in Texas band, yeah.
Wow. Was that the first time you went on the road opening up for him through Tex?
Yeah, yeah. For me, it was, yeah.
What is performing for his audience like?
They seem to be quite receptive of Texas music. I mean, Max shows it a little bit more. I don't know what the right word is. He's a bit more energetic on stage, and we're kind of a bit relaxed, easy listening. But they seem to, from everyone that was coming up after the show uh, to greet Tex at the merch desk, seemed quite like they quite enjoyed it. New
Man,
fans
that's
and old fans. Yeah,
great. That's fantastic.
yeah,
Yeah, the inverse of that would be interesting, like a big energetic Mac DeMarco show, and it's like, all right, like now we're gonna switch gears.
yeah, yeah.
Be quite
To
difficult.
yeah, yeah.
Did his music, his being Mac DeMarco's music, resonate with you the first time that you heard it, or the first couple times that it came across your desk?
Uh, I I feel like I have known his songs and like the popular ones and always liked them, but it wasn't until this tour that I really kind of got a bit deeper into the music and just hearing them on tour that I really became a fan.
Hmm. Aside from him being I mean, a really large contemporary musician, who are some other people around kind of this generation of music that really resonated with you early on when all that kind of music started coming out? Is there anybody in particular that you're like, oh, these people's
Um,
music?
like Foxygen and Ariel Pink and things like that.
Right.
I was a fan of those. Yeah.
Not exactly who I was talking about, but that's fine. No, I'm kidding, Chet. Yeah, is American music well received in Australia? Does it have the same ring out there as it seems to have over here, from what you understand?
I think yeah, most of it does. I think Australia is kind of stuck in between like who do we like more, the UK or the US? But I
That
feel
is
like
it's an interesting middle ground there.
yeah, yeah. But I feel like they do get around it quite a bit.
You spoke about this previously, like obviously Chet Sounds is a play on Pet Sounds, which is Beach Boys, kind of more 70s influences being heavy on you. Do you feel like there's more modern musicians that are kind of taking that approach of like, oh, let's kind of hang back in this generation and see what we can pull from that and put into some new stuff?
I Yeah, I definitely can hear it from like just those artists that I mentioned. They kind of um, have kind of elements of sounds from the past, but kind of done in a contemporary way, I guess.
I'm looking for some future people if you know anybody. Nobody's ever influenced by the future. And
Yeah, I
it's
know.
always looking back. Let's look forward. What do we
Look
got?
forward. Let's hear what we haven't heard. Yeah.
Yeah. Show me what I haven't heard before. Show it to me. Don't play it for me. Show it to me.
Might find some new notes or something.
Yeah. I bet you there's gonna be something coming. I was like, oh, it wasn't just 12 this whole time. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, hidden notes.
And you are looking into that, right, Chet? You're on the research committee.
I've been searching very hard, but just can't remember where they were or
You did
whether
stumble across some
I thought I heard some a few notes, but can't
while
work out whether.
camping. While
Yeah.
camping, that's when you
Yeah.
come across them. Um, is there a or is the transition between like playing somebody else's music, like Texas, for instance, and then kind of getting back into the swing of things with your own music or playing a gig with your own music, is that transition kind of difficult, or is it pretty seamlessly easy for you to transfer from one to another? And the reverse of that, going from playing a lot of your stuff into playing with Tex.
I feel like I have to, yeah, kind of put on like just dive fully into one thing. Like once I'm doing one thing, I kind of have to like just kind of forget about everything and focus on that one thing. But like the kind of change between the two is kind of, it's not so difficult. You just kind of bounce between various things. But I feel like for me, I have to kind of, it's hard to multitask. So I'm just kind of immersed in one thing at a time.
Right. And you could have fooled me, but that's, that was your choice. Yeah, you were playing keys on this tour, right?
I was playing guitar. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Had that totally wrong. I apologize to you, to Tex, to Miles and Mac and everybody that I offended with that. Uh, but in your own things, you're usually playing keys, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I play a bit of keys and some guitar as well. Yeah.
So you're even switching it in your own band.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like playing a lot live, had a kind of few different kind of setups, trying to work it out.
They cannot pin you down. And of course, you were playing drums in the Uplifting Bell Ends. I don't know how to place you, man. I can't put you in a box, Chet, and that's what worries me about you. I can't quite come to grips with who you are as a musician. Uh,
Yeah.
you know, what do they say? Jack of all instruments,
Master of nothing.
master of all instruments. I think is how that goes. Even in that little shifting point from either you start with keys for a gig and then you're moving to guitar, are you rewiring at least a little bit to be like, all right, now we're switching to this, and I gotta bring my stuff to this instrument that I'm now switching to.
um, I don't know if I really think about it too much like that. Like I kind of just, I don't want to sound like annoying thing to say, but like I just kind of think of it as music, all as music kind of thing.
I
It's just
that's what I wanted. I wanted you
yeah,
to it's music. Don't look too
when you
much
get
into
deep.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
Is there a is there different comfortability between the two instruments or even drums for that matter, kind of throwing that into the hat as well? Is there like different like, oh, I know I can go further with this or I kind of hang back with that or whatever it may be?
Yeah, I feel like guitar is my first kind of instrument, but it's kind of least what I've play in other people's bands and things like that. So like I feel like I'm quite comfortable playing live on the drums or the bass, and
I didn't
uh
even throw bass into the equation. Sorry.
it's fine. But yeah, playing guitar like on this tour, I kind of learn a lot about more just like getting the sound for a live audience has been very different. But I feel like um definitely keys, I'm not a pro. I can just play my music on the keys kind of thing. But I can probably more slot into other places on like the guitar or bass or drums a bit easier. Yeah.
Going back to that sound element that you just mentioned, is that a key aspect of that is finding the sound or how that sound fits into how you play? Is that kind of what you're evaluating with these?
I think so. Yeah. I'm more of kind of like, yeah, just try to do that and kind of not know what it really is, but just kind of stumble upon it. Yeah.
Like a new chord. You just
Yeah.
kind of stumble upon it.
Yeah.
Does playing with other people in their uh projects and bands and what have you, does that motivate you to go and work on your own stuff and kind of create something new?
I think so. Like it kind of you get like influence from other people and kind of learn things. And when you're playing with people that are also making things, you kind of like pushing each other a little bit. So you kind of just expand on your skills a little bit, and yeah, and then you're building up ideas, I guess, to then do it on your own. That's what I do, at least. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like yeah, more people that I talk to and they've been in this group and that group. It seems like there's at least a little bit that rubs off on them with playing with other people, however that is. So I think it
Yeah.
just feeds off each other. Perhaps. I don't know. It's a theory. I'm working on it. The dissertation's coming out soon. It's gonna have to go through some academic paper sources, to be
I think at least it
proofread.
does. Yeah. You have to be careful sometimes because you think you come up with something and then you go, oh wait, that was someone else's song that I've been playing. Or it sounds similar.
How far have you gotten with an idea that you're like, oh, that's not original. That's something else.
I don't know if I've done anything like note for note, but there's definitely like the vibe of something is kind of rubbed off a lot, I suppose.
Yeah. Um, in terms of vibes, is that something that you're consciously working on when you're making your own stuff, or is it just like, oh, that's just how that feels? It's just kind of unravels and like, oh, that's what it is. I wasn't going for that, but that's what it is.
I feel like sometimes I've definitely had specific things in mind that I want it to sound like, but probably didn't really achieve it because I didn't really fully know. But there are other times where it's just like it is what it is. Kind of you make something with the instruments or the sounds that you have just at hand, and that's what it becomes, kind of thing. It's not really too conceptual.
Yeah, it seems like with a thing like a vibe for a song, you can't really look at it directly. It kind of has to be in the peripheral vision for a bit because if you give it too much attention, it's gonna be like, ah, now it's changed. It's not gonna
Yeah, yeah,
sound. Which must be so tricky dealing with that. It's like, that I had that one thing, I don't know how to get back to that, and obviously it's not recorded, or even if it is, I don't even think it would come out in the mindset that you had it in the beginning.
yeah. Definitely, that always kind of seems to happen. You have such a you know what it sounds like already before it's even done, but then you kind of don't really achieve it, or you've kind of your influence have changed in the time leading up to recording it or something, and it's like just becomes something different. Yeah,
Yeah, and and that seems like such a temperamental sort of thing because even if you do attack it immediately, like, oh, okay, I can like record it on my phone real quick or whatever, it's like, oh, it just immediately fell apart just because it's
yeah,
just something. It's so finicky at points, it seems.
yeah. It's like lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, w- do you look for inspiration for music, or do you kind of let inspiration hit you when it hits you? Like, do you actively like, all right, I gotta figure out something here, or do you just kind of let it come through and not again give it too much attention so it'll just kind of peter out?
I feel like a bit of both. Like sometimes you just stumble upon something, or again, or yeah, you actively kind of are working on something, trying to find it. But I try not to think too hard, otherwise it sounds like I'm trying too hard or something. I think more so with writing lyrics or something. For me, it's like I kind of don't want to try too hard, or else it just sounds like too contrived or something, not
Right.
sincere. Yeah,
And it's so easy to fall into that pitfall of like, oh, I've thought about this too much, and then
yeah,
you get like judgment of like, what does that even mean? But why
yeah,
does it have
yeah,
to mean anything? There's so many good songs that mean nothing.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's a fine line, and I don't haven't quite worked it out yet, but
I
it's
don't think anybody has, honestly, Chet. I don't think that you are alone in this. I don't think
yeah,
anybody has it locked down.
yeah.
Um, Going back to the vibe thing, is there? This is kind of a difficult question to answer here, but is there like a vibe that you try to look for within music when you're trying to find something new that's like, oh, I'm looking for this kind of thing, or is it just something that it hits if it hits, and if it doesn't, it doesn't?
Um, I feel like from time to time I go through kind of like periods of being like almost obsessed with kind of one specific kind of sound, or like a genre kind of thing, and then it kind of I just listen to a lot of that, and then it like soak it in like a sponge a bit, and it kind of has a trickle down effect and influences either like the sonic or like the kind of actual music kind of thing. Um, that definitely happens with me. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate you answering that. I know that was difficult. Does where you find inspiration or what inspires you, and specifically for lyrics, in this case, uh, does that change? Is it always changing, or is it like there's a certain wells that you could go back to, and it's like, oh, there's still a little bit here that I haven't tapped into yet?
I feel like I am kind of inspired by, yeah, like seeing things or hearing things or reading something, and it kind of just triggers something in me to kind of follow that path or story or whatever it is. But uh, I don't know if it really, I would say it would change, because I feel like looking back on some of the music that I've kind of made already, it's like I've written about that. I don't really want to kind of do something similar. I want to try do something else. Not that I really know what that will be or how I would do it, but I would hope to try to change my kind of process or whatever it is to just create something a bit different.
If anybody can, Chet, I know it's you. Is there a threshold that you cross through with ideas like in that formulation stage that there's like, oh, this has legs, like I can go somewhere with this, as opposed to other ones that's like, oh yeah, like there was something here, but it's just I've reached a brick wall sort of a thing.
Yeah, I feel like I do have kind of a threshold. It's like kind of a bit of a radar from like something that I like to hear, whether it's a musical idea. Like if it's a musical idea, I kind of know that I like it or not pretty soon. And if it doesn't have any legs, then I kind of never follow through. But I tried the ones that I like the most. I kind of try and make something from it, and they're all the ones that I've really released or whatever.
And you knew
Ones
there
I
was
thought.
something there at a certain point. You go, this is there is something here to be mined out.
Yeah, I think so. I think when I can kind of see a clear end or something, that I know when it's finished. That's how I follow through. Do I? Most of the things that I don't follow through with, they just are kind of very short lived. I feel like it's not. I don't mess around with it too much.
Do you shelve those ideas, or is it just like, all right, I'm moving forward?
I there are some things that kind of like I like, but they're just I have no just doesn't fit at a certain time or something, and then I'll have different ideas in the past and kind of join some bits together to make musical things, but that's happened in the past. But yeah, it's not a lot of that, but some of that.
Which is good that in a sense that it's there's not that because there's not just like bits and pieces lying around all the time. It's like, well, I need something more substantial here
Yeah,
for
yeah.
an actual song. What is it like when you finally cross that point of like there is something here? Does that kind of just explode into like, okay, like that now there's like energy behind this and I can actually do something with it?
Yeah, I think so. And once the initial idea is kind of there, I like to like just quickly make a demo or something like that, and then that kind of really sets the tone of how I record it or something,
Hmm.
and just kind of flesh it out a bit more.
When you're in that process, in that little that spot there, do you refrain from listening to any other music, or is there like any sort of rules that you follow in that matter? Like I don't want to listen to anything right now, or do you try to put on stuff that's like, all right, like how did they kind of formulate this specific, whoever they are, kind of
That's
sound?
something I've been thinking of lately because I've been wanting to kind of do that with like music I've been making now, like try not to be influenced by other things like sonically or something. But like I feel like it's pretty hard. In the past, definitely I always just refer to the people that I'm inspired by or whatever and kind of try and mimic their things, whatever it is, to kind of
Kind of
shape
tap
my
into what they would do it with this
yeah,
sort of
yeah.
sound. Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely like yeah, I definitely do that a lot. But I just don't know how I can create music without music. But
Right.
yeah, I think it's a big inspiration for me, so it's pretty hard to kind of not do that.
Yeah, see, I mean, you're not worried about the whole like, oh, it's gonna sound too much like this person. You're like, yeah, no, it's fine if it does because that stuff sounds good, sort of a thing.
Yeah, I think I yeah, wear my influences on my sleeve a bit, so I'm
No,
not too
I don't.
concerned.
I don't hear any Jethro Tull in any of it. You're out of your mind. I don't hear. I don't hear Beethoven in your work, but I know that that's
Like
you've only spoken about it. I never hear a hint of it.
I wish.
I think that there's a some people really refrain or try to hide that in some cases, and I don't think that that's a necessarily a good thing. You know, if you're
Hmm,
listening to a lot of Bill Evans, it's like, hey man, Bill Evans was a fantastic
yeah,
musician. Like he's yeah, like I tried to do my interpretation of what Bill Evans would do, and that's like fantastic, I think.
yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with being influenced by someone or something, you know. It all kind of it will never be the same as what they did. Like it kind of goes through a filter of yourself.
Yeah, because you don't have the same filter that they do.
Yeah. And yeah,
Exactly.
I'm not as good at playing my instruments as the people that I listen to, but it still kind of yeah comes out sounding a little bit like it. But
When you're sitting down just by yourself, do you try to take time to practice all of these instruments that you understand, the bass, the guitar, the keys, the drums, whatever it may be? Do you just take time like, all right, let me go through these rudiments or whatever it may be just to kind of keep up to date with these exercises?
I feel like lately I kind of have been practicing a bit more. I never used to be. I used to be kind of more just a song based kind of person where I'd like kind of it's still practicing, but like I would kind of I didn't know how to play any scales or anything like that. I would just learn songs and the kind of study the craft of making a song or recording it. But I feel like these days lately I've been trying to practice the fretless bass and practicing keyboard and stuff like that a bit more to kind of just yeah get a different sound and things like that going, kind of inspire me in different ways.
Yeah. I think both, but this new way and the previous way both yield positive results just differently, it
Different,
seems.
yeah, yeah, just different. Like, yeah, still it's still both practicing, but just kind of different ways.
Right. It's like somebody doesn't have to understand music theory to the upteenth degree to make a good song, although it doesn't hurt to understand music theory to that extent to make a good song as well.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, yeah.
And I know you said that before. I didn't mean to, quote you again, Chet. I apologize. Does formulating uh one new song lead to kind of making another or into like the process of like, oh, maybe I can make another one or and touch down on some other things that I wasn't able to do with this previous one or whatever it may be.
I feel like sometimes it does. Like you kind of, for me at least, like make one song and then it kind of inspires me to like kind of follow that direction or something, and I kind of make a batch of songs that are kind of related or something like that. They're like cousin brothers and cousin siblings. But
It's an interesting way of looking at that. That's like
yeah,
it's a real it's actually a good visual tool for that.
yeah, I feel like that happens sometimes. Like it, yeah. And then it's not until you kind of look back on it though, and it's like, oh, they were kind of made around the same time. They kind of have similar qualities.
Right. Is there not only in your own music, but like Tex and the Uplifting Bell Ends and other Beach Boys or whatever it may be, do you feel like there's like, oh, there's some like this was a phase or a generation of songs like in this little belt here, and then if you look at this secondary piece of music, it's like that's in a completely different realm of its own, and like kind of just way different from one another.
Like in like different time periods of the artist or something
Yeah,
too. Like
different time periods, different albums, or maybe even in the same album. It's like, oh,
yeah,
well, that was that, and here's this.
yeah, I feel like um there is a bit of that. Like Texas music, like his albums are very kind of concise, like albums that sound, each one kind of has its own sound and it all sounds like the one thing. But like his music has kind of changed, and sonically the different albums sound different. And same with the Bellends, they kind of like have phases of being like doing different kind of styles of music or something like that. Each one sounds a little bit different.
I
Yeah.
also agree. I also agree.
And some albums can be like a bit of a roller coaster. Like I feel like my first album, I kind of didn't really know what I was doing. It's a bit of like one song kind of sounds like this genre, and then the other one sounds like this, and it's a bit all over the place. Yeah.
But that, I mean, that does make an interesting case though, because there's so many that don't sound like that, and it's like, oh, this is like formulaic, and I understand how they got from this point to that point, but with those more sporadic experimental, if you will, albums. Like, whoa, I was not expecting this from the next and the
Yeah,
next.
yeah, I appreciate both. Like a really concise album is really great where it all sounds like together. But then I also, yeah, like to listen to something that just goes from one thing to another too.
Without any sort of transition periods. Like, here's
Yeah,
this, and so on. It's a
yeah.
it's a real blockade. Um, going back to formulating songs, is that process of like, oh, there's like I'm kind of on a roll here, sort of formulating these different songs. Is that how you have made your own music in some of a form? It's like, oh, I'm kind of in this writing mood to get these down, like for the final version from the demo or whatever it may be.
I think so. Yeah, I kind of like will like have some ideas and songs ready, and then I'll record them, and kind of in that time as well, I'll be also kind of making pieces of music that add up to be the album. And some things are kind of done over the spans of a while, but other times it's just definitely been like a period, and it's really like a diary. Like I look at it and it's like, oh, that's that time period, and it all sounds like that one thing, and they're all done around the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, how do you feel about playing songs from a certain time period or from a certain section like that? Does it bring up like, oh, I remember making this, or I remember that time in my life? Is that how you feel when you're performing them live?
Yeah, there are some things that like kind of take you back to that time, but then other times you kind of like you've like for me like lots of things have like kind of changed, and it's like you can either like I can either sing about the now but still singing the old lyrics or whatever, but I'm thinking about the now kind of thing. That kind of helps.
Oh,
Like
that's really interesting that you're talking in the past, but you're viewing it
yeah.
through the present because like we said, you're living in the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the only way that can sing those old songs. But some ones are just it just feels like you've changed. For me at least, it feels like, oh, I don't can't really sing this with conviction because I'm just not feeling it. But other things you can kind of I can see through the current eyes and sing the old words.
Right. Right. Yeah, that is interesting. Not that like you this is a bad term for it, and I don't mean it, but faking, quote unquote, the feeling of it. But the feeling is there. It's just you're not in the same mindset that you were when you
Yeah,
initially
yeah,
recorded it. Yeah.
yeah.
Do you find that to be the case with other musicians that you've either talked to or seen live? You're like, this is kind of not. I mean, it's a great song, and they're performing it, and they're giving the conviction, but it's like, oh, this is not how they once felt about this song.
Yeah, I haven't really talked with anyone about that, but I'm sure, yeah, like you see like some of the big bands that have been touring for like 20, 30 years, and it's like they're still playing the same kind of songs night after night. For me, I don't know how I get bored playing like one or two gigs of my own music, and it's like I want to change it up, but I don't know how. I mean, if you get paid enough money, maybe you could do it every.
Everyone's got a price, and they just want to set your set list. You're playing these songs for 40 nights in a row, and that's whatever amount of money that is, Chet.
But I'm
Yeah.
sure that yeah, maybe they do feel the same way every. I don't know really, but
I
I
bet that
think
like if you have like a one hit wonder, let's say, to use that term, I bet you there's a whole like circle around it. It's like this is a great song. Oh, it's getting us a lot of money and plays and people like it. Oh, people are expecting it. I kind of don't like it as much anymore. I hate this song. Back to like it brings people joy. I like
yeah,
playing it. It's a good song. Like I think that's the rotation for at least
yeah,
some people.
if it's like bringing the fans and things like that, you gotta give them what they want if they're supporting you and things like that. So you might like you would. I'm sure you'd get joy out of seeing other people be happy because that's what like music performers kind of live off, I guess. It's just making a difference to other people's things. So I'm sure if those songs are bringing joy to other people, then they'll bring joy to the performer. Yeah.
We gotta ask one of them. I don't know any of those guys, but we'll figure it out later on. When you're performing your own songs, how often are you bringing in different elements that were not there? It's like, oh, this little ditty that I'm doing here in this little solo or whatever it may be was definitely not in my purview when I initially recorded this. How often is that making an appearance in songs?
Well, yeah, playing with my own live band like recently, like we're rehearsing and it sounds kind of completely different from the recordings. I guess just the other people in the band kind of bring their own little things and embellish it in a different way than what I would do when I was recording. But yeah, I guess you just kind of also are influenced by different things, and that you just bring that to the music, I guess, and it changes a bit.
Do you feel like that's what Tex is expecting from you as well? Like, oh, obviously he's bringing something different to the table that was not here previously or on the recorded version or whatever it may be.
Maybe I feel like yeah, some like Summer Texas live is like he we play the things a bit different from the recording because it's like hard to recreate what he how he recorded or whatever. So it kind of changes from a little bit. And I think I think he likes changing up a little bit too. You know? Yeah.
How do you feel about like people when you go to see a show? I recognize the song, but it's completely different from how I either A, enjoy it, or B, know it.
I have seen shows where people do kind of different versions of songs. I like hearing different versions. Sometimes the original version is just so good it's hard to beat it, but
Yeah, definitely.
I enjoy hearing alternate versions, yeah, and arrangements.
See, this is why they keep on doing it, is because then there's a little comment at the end of I enjoy it. Then they'll go, oh, okay, Chet likes it. Okay, we're gonna do whatever it is.
Yeah, I
Mike
feel like
Love comes and he goes, I'm just gonna sing my parts of these harmonies because that's what Chet wants to hear.
yeah, I hear lots of people not aren't fans of just hearing it in a different. They want to hear what they
I
know.
thought you were gonna say Mike Love, not big fans of Mike Love, which I have heard. And
That
yes,
too. That too.
both of them.
Yeah.
Um, do you ever go back and listen to your previous albums or previous songs that you've made or contributed to, or do you just hear them when you play them?
I feel like I've had to go back and listen to like relearn some things if I haven't like if I'm gonna play a show live and I haven't listened to the song, just see what the arrangement is. But I don't really sit there and put on my records or anything like that. It's more just when I'm making it kind of thing, and then after that, it's once it's done, it's kind of done.
But it's never done, right? Because like you don't put it to bed. It's like now you got to go out and play these songs. So
Yeah, but
yeah, lives
yeah, it
on.
does live on. Yeah, I like to hear it changing. So like, yeah, I try not to be too stubborn with the band of like trying to play like the record or anything like that. It's just play it as whatever it is. You know?
Is that again another easy thing to recognize now, being like, oh, this is shifting. This is not what it was before, or like we're
I
kind
think
of
so,
moving away
yeah.
from the original.
I think I like trying to make something kind of not something trying to make something be something that it's not is kind of not the best approach for me at least. So I like to kind of let it naturally evolve or whatever. Still like work on certain ideas and things like that, but yeah, try and embrace some new things along the way.
Yeah. And I'm assuming that could be difficult at times. You're like, oh, I could just tweak it, and but that's putting your hands in it and kind of manipulating it on your own and not
Yeah,
letting it run course.
yeah, definitely.
Have you been in the studio to record stuff with Tex, or are you usually on the road with him for the most part?
Yeah, I haven't been in the studio with him. He plays like most of all his instruments on his records, and Miles plays the drums. But yeah, just mainly playing in his live band. Played the bass for a while in his live band, and then on the last tour, I switched to guitar.
Because again, nobody can put you in a dang. You won't get in the box. Uh, when you're in that position, to play songs that you did not originally play on, or do you feel an obligation to go, I gotta kind of hone in on what was originally here? Or do you feel like you have a freedom to be like, ah, well, this is what I would have done to it? And not, I mean, completely turning it away from itself, but just bringing it in another direction.
I feel like I kind of learned it as if I was playing along with the records, and then once we got to rehearsals, it kind of became something different a bit. But the records were definitely my kind of starting point. I tried to kind of go for that sound and try to do it as close as I could. But
Hmm.
yeah, I feel like it just once we got in a room together, it like became something else. I guess maybe a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean Tex and Miles and I there is another person playing that we haven't mentioned, right? There's another
Yeah.
part of it.
Uh,
Who is
Zaf.
that?
Yeah.
Zaf.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. So
it's on the main.
you, Zaf, Miles, Tex, all of you, all of you guys are bringing different things. Even if you guys were all studying the same source material, it's just where you're coming from. Your backgrounds are gonna be different, and obviously that's gonna be shown while playing the exact same song that everybody knows, which is a really
Yeah,
interesting thing about music.
yeah, it is definitely. You all bring your own thing to it. Like,
Even though you're trying to replicate the same thing, it's like I heard what you heard, but you're gonna play it different than I would play it. I'm gonna play it different than you're gonna play it, and so on and so forth.
yeah, I would say that. Yeah.
But you didn't. I said that, Chet. Anyways, is it easier for you on guitar now to be able to replicate what you hear on an album, or was it easier on bass to get the exact, oh, this is how this sounds, and this is what goes here, and blah blah blah, whatever it is?
Well, the bass only has four strings, so the guitar is six, so you got a little less to worry about. But um, no, I feel like it's pretty similar for me at least. Like, it's just yeah, once you listen to it and you work it out or whatever, it's not too dissimilar from the between the two.
And would you wager the same goes for if you're in the drum position?
I would say it's quite, yeah, for me, quite similar, just kind of listening to it and working out whether or not I can actually play it or not. And trying to, yeah, just trying to learn it.
I will say I really, really enjoy what Miles brings to the table. What he brought to the table with Babe Rainbow, what I've seen from what he's doing with Tex. Um,
Mm.
he's an amazing musician,
Yeah,
and
great.
his groove is something else.
Yeah, it's great.
A good roster there for
Yeah,
the
they're
for the lineup.
great people as well. Yeah.
Is there another musician that you would want to bring into the fold of Texas band, playing his music, but kind of working with somebody else, just for a second, just to see what how they would bring stuff to the table? Is there anybody you'd be like, I want to see somebody in that, whatever, on the bass for a couple songs and see what they bring?
Um, yeah, like on Texas albums, I think he plays the fretless bass. So maybe a fretless bass player. I don't know. Daryl Johns played in Mac's band. He would be a good addition on the fretless bass, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Or what's that guy? Um, that fretless bass guy. Jocko? What's his what
The story is
Pistorius? He might kind of steal the lead a little bit in some songs if
he
I'm
might, yeah, yeah.
if
I
I'm
might,
thinking about this.
yeah.
I know he's a good friend of yours, and I don't mean to be negative towards him. Going back to what we were speaking about before with kind of opening up a diary for old songs, and you're kind of in a looking at it from a new perspective, so it's a little bit different. Do you
Mhm.
get something different from playing old songs, your own old songs? Do you get something different from looking back on it from a present tense?
I think some of the ones like I can look back and think like about my younger self and see me from a different angle or something like outside of myself. I don't know. Like
Yeah,
it's kind
kind of more of a third party perspective on it.
of yeah.
And that's that future business that I referred to earlier. We're really tying things up here. What is someone else's album that you get something from new from each time you hear it, whatever it may be, like, oh, I'd never noticed that, or it's like, oh, there's a new wavelength that I'm on for some reason, whatever it may be.
Like yeah, I do hear that often sometimes though. I'm listening to something, I go, how have I never heard that part before? Yeah, like on a weather report album or something like that. There are just kind of intricate, fun little details that I like. You just pick up on every time you listen to it. It's like, oh, I can't never noticed that before. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there are you able to pinpoint what you initially like your ear is drawn to the first time you hear something that those other minute details are overlapped by that you're like, oh, I why didn't notice that because initially I was listening to blank.
Yeah, I think you kind of like listen to the lead, whatever's leading kind of first, and then like some things just fall through the cracks a bit or something, and it's like you don't really perceive it as much. But then once you become used to the kind of the tune or whatever, you can kind of notice the little things.
Right. Do you worry about that with people listening to your tunes as well? Like, oh, this might be buried by the lead?
Sometimes I don't. Yeah, I feel like I don't really worry about it though. But it's like I feel like maybe I'm just thinking, oh, if there are people that are actually listening, they might pick up on it. But if not, then better make the lead good. So or something. Yeah.
Well, does that inform what you're doing with the lead? Like, oh, maybe that should be turned down a little bit, so this is more emphasized,
Uh, yeah, I guess sometimes. Yeah,
or maybe even
sometimes.
subconsciously, you know.
Yeah, I guess from time to time it does. You do think about it a little bit, but I don't think I really think about it too much. Yeah.
I wouldn't. Subconsciously, you're already doing it. Hey, I wanted to ask you this, Chet. I know that you maybe you still do used to skate. That used to be something that you were into.
Skateboarding.
Skateboarding, skate, roller
Yeah.
skating, ice skating,
Yeah.
skateboarding. You know, was were video parts a an instrumental form of hearing new music for you? Uh
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
I mean obviously because skating goes hand in hand with music or I mean at least it used to for a lot of people. And I was wondering, is that your case as well to some of an extent?
Yeah, definitely. Like hearing skate videos would teach me new music and like introduce me to things that I hadn't heard before, skate parts and things like that. So
Hmm.
yeah, it was very influential and kind of in showing me music was watching those skate videos. Yeah.
Would you want to have your music be featured in somebody else's skate park?
Yeah, I would be honored. I feel like yeah, if it worked, that would be cool.
But you have to like the skater too. That's also important.
Yeah, I would. But yeah, if he's skating good, I'm sure I'd like it. So
I don't know. You're a pretty tough critic. I don't know, Chet. Is there anybody's parts that really still stand out to you now from watching them when you were younger? Like that guy's part in this or whatever it may be.
um I feel like kind of there was all like the classic skateboarding of like rewatching all the ones from the early 90s with like Jason Lee and things like that. And they always had cool music on it. But there was also like local ones from where I'm from. Uh, this guy named George Casoulis would make, and he always had, I think it was called like Another Every Other. He made it.
That's a good title. I like that.
Oh, yeah. And I always used to watch his videos, and he always had good soundtracks, good choice of tunes.
And a good choice of tunes, not only in a skateboarding film, but in film or cinema, whatever, however you want to call it. I know that you're a real film snob, so I didn't want to offend you with movies. But with that and in television shows, it really can bring a scene to another level. Um,
Yeah.
so I know that you're picking some songs for the new Quentin Tarantino movie, and I'm just excited to see what you chose. Um, Chet, you're the man. Thank you so much for coming back on here, dude. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thanks a lot for having me. Yeah.
Yeah. But before I let you go, we got to do some promo here. Chet Sounds is streaming everywhere, wherever people get their music. That's where they could find you, right?
Yeah. Everywhere on, yeah, iTunes, all the streaming things,
The
and
Pirate Bay.
LimeWire.
Now we
What?
never use those sites. We're just fooling around. You should be paying for all music all the time. Um, but yes, the Bandcamp, chetsounds.bandcamp.com. That's where people should go. All of the songs are on there. So please
Yeah.
go and buy some digital tracks. It does help. It does help. And that's where people can also find a bit of merch, is also through the Bandcamp, as well as just one of the most fantastic record labels, thirdeyestimuli.com. Their roster's great. They're awesome. I really like what they're doing all the time. Um, and that is also where people can find the Uplifting Bell Ends merch as well, which we didn't get too much into this time, but last time we're talking about it.
Mhm.
Good guys, good music. Um, so that's it. And I think those are two great points of getting into the sounds of Third Eye Stimuli. And everyone can stay up to date with news and shows and everything else by following you on Instagram, right? Is that the best place, Chet?
Probably yes. I'm not the best at Instagram, but cheddar cheese, yeah, that's where you'll find me.
And that's two underscores between the Chet and the T,
Yes.
on Instagram, and all that stuff will be linked below. And are you working on some new stuff right now, or kind of just formulating some stuff?
Yeah, I do have an album recorded that I finished early last year that needs to be released at some point. But I've
And you
also, yeah,
mention it now. You mention it at the end. How do you feel? Let me just ask you this real quick. How do you feel about it right now as we sit? Do you feel like that is done, or it's almost done because it's not quite out yet?
yeah, it's a bit of both. It feels finished, but then it's not finished because it hasn't been kind of released or something.
Right.
Uh,
It seems like a final step in the process. It's like, yes, I understand it's all done and mixed and mastered and everything, but it's not out. Oh man.
yeah,
Okay.
in terms, I guess it's not completely finished, but yeah, yeah.
Okay. Right on.
In my head, it feels complete, but yeah, yeah.
Um, so keep an eye out for that. You'll be posting about that, obviously. Yeah, so please go and follow him on Instagram. And you're always playing gigs here and there every once in a while. So,
Yeah, yeah. You'll see that on Instagram too.
and new skate park coming out as well, I believe.
One day, one day.
Because I know you're in talks with Baker. I don't know if we're allowed to say that, but you're in talks with Baker.
Yeah,
You've been getting some flow stuff recently, so this might be it.
yeah, yeah. This could be it.
From the boss himself, Andrew Reynolds, is who I heard that from.
Okay, yeah. You'll see it on my Instagram if you do.
So
So,
please go ahead and go follow him there. But yeah, new works coming
mhm.
out. So yeah, so stay tuned for that. And Chet, again, I cannot thank you enough for coming back on. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
I'm gonna stop recording this and I'll talk to you in a minute.
Okay.